Morning. So let's see here. I've been experimenting with my Mclean, and one of the things I want to do is, I thought about this the other day, is there a quick, easy way to do a backlap without taking the whole thing apart and doing all the adjustments? So I tried it, and it actually kind of worked. Warning, this is just me experimenting and playing around, just so you know. I have to cut again, probably the front and the back, and I'm getting ready to do a spike aeration. Most of you would do a core aeration, and this is a great time of the year to do a core aeration. After the core aeration, I'll probably put down some humichar and some dirt booster. I've done several videos on that. We showed the golf courses that are using the dirt booster for areas with weak organic matter. Just playing around, killing off the day after the 4th. So that's about it. I just wanted to warn you, this is experimental. I'm just playing around, so don't try this at home. Oh, howdy, 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 ho. Today, I'm going to do a little experimenting. This is the Mclean GK series. Now, I recommend the GR series because you can cut down to 3/4 of an inch, and you can go up to 2 inches tall with the GR series. This is the GK series. Now the GK series has a screw here and a screw here for adjustments. The GR firecracker, gunshots. The GR series has one adjustment handle. This one is actually a GK7 blade. My other one for the green is a GK10 blade, but 7 blade, I use the GK7 blade on almost all the lawns now because we're cutting it 1/2 inch. The problem with this unit for most people is the highest it'll go is 3/4 of an inch. So if you want to cut taller than that, that's why I say the GR series is the best choice for most people. It's up to you. Depends on how you keep your lawn all year. But let me just show you a quick backlap. Normally, when I backlap, I like to use an 80 grit. So this is an 80 grit backlapping compound. Why do I like 80? Is because it actually leaves a little bit of serration on the blade. It's not as fine. But today, I haven't even loosened up my blade. You can hear that. Now I've got compound on it, and it's still locked down. But I don't have a lot of tension blade to bed knife, so it's fairly easy spinning. If I put the 80 grit on it, I probably can't do this, but if I use a 120 grit, I can actually do a quick backlap without even adjusting anything, because there's a tiny bit of a gap between the blade and the bed knife, so I can go through here, not do any adjustments, and actually do this. Now, warning, the people at Mclean always get mad at me because they make a backlapping kit that attaches to the chain drive. They do not use a drill, and they don't like the fact that I use a drill, but that's the way I like to do it. I think it's more dangerous personally to use the power of a motor to do backlapping unless you're in a professional shop or if you're on a golf course. I just like to use a drill. It's slower and safer for me. So I get rid of the kit, I use the drill, I get rid of the 80, and I'm using the 120. And so all I'm going to do, and I gave you a link to this little tool here. I'll put it in the description below too. And I linked to these mowers, by the way. The other day I was out, and since my son had been using this for 8 weeks straight, cutting tons of grass with this, I decided not to use it yesterday, and I used the big True Cut. Man, it's just so heavy, and it's hard on my thumb. My thumb is actually sore, and it's such a heavy machine. These are so much lighter. Now, True Cut's a 27, these are 25s. Get a 25 inch. So, So I was able to actually do it with both the 120 and the 80 grit. Now this only works if you have your blade to bed knife set where there's a fairly free spin. You just hear that little bit of contact on the blades. If you have it set tight, you're probably going to hurt your wrist. Warning, be careful about holding that drill because your drill can flip. Just be careful about that. So now, I haven't loosened any other bolts on this thing. All I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse it off and I'm going to test to see if it cuts a business card. So let's see. Okay, so I put the wheel down, I put a wood block on one side, and just go in with these lovely business cards. Give me a call sometime. You can order these online. Learn a little trick. Promo business cards, you can get 500 or 1,000 for $9, and then use them for this. That's a pretty light blade contact there for a Mclean. Cut, cut, cut. You know, I may loosen this up and just tap these adjustments down just a hair. Loosen that and loosen this one just a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this blade against the bed knife right there, and I'm just going to tap. Right there, and then I'm going to tighten that one. I'm going to put, actually, that one actually feels pretty good, just a tiny. I think that one's good too. See that? This is the perfect adjustment for a Mclean. Just like that. It rolls freely with just a tiny, tiny bit of contact. Let's put it back up. Let's just double check, make sure I'm perfect here. Cut, 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 cut. I've got cuts all the way across, and the blade feels pretty good. Man, that's a loud mail truck. So here's a little cutting tip for you. If you want to get started reel mowing early, reel mowing wet grass is never a good thing. But if you want to get going a little bit earlier, I have a big 48-inch leveling rake that I really use on a weekly basis to knock the dew off. So here's my yard. And what I'm doing is I just ran this whole rake over my whole yard, and you'll just see a ton of water come off the grass and fall on the ground. And within 20-30 minutes, my grass will be nice and dry, ready to cut. But I did want to show you, see that little scalp right there? Let me walk down here. I use the big 27-inch True Cut out here, and I like to use it on rougher areas and other lawns, but see how I got scalping over here? You can sort of see scalp marks, and you can see an uneven cut. Let me turn the other way, and it's more prevalent. See what I mean about these sort of scalp marks? Because of the weight of the mower, you get a real difference, especially if you have a hill, of how it cuts going uphill versus coming downhill. You do have a tendency to get track compression marks from the weight of the unit, but you can see it just doesn't look that good. I am convinced the lighter the reel mower, the better. I am convinced of that. And you will not find a 25-inch reel mower, I don't think, that's lighter than the Mclean. It just glides across. You can use it right after a rain, and that's why I use it. So let's see how it cuts.
How did we end up here in the corner, looking like enemies? We used to be the team people talk about, what a chemistry. I can see it in your eyes. You don't wanna talk anymore. I wanna get so numb while we enemies. No, you don't mind the way I stutter my words. You know exactly what it means and how it hurts. Oh, I can't believe you're here. Can't get any worse. No, no. I just wanna get out of here. I find it so hard to breathe. 'Cause when you get too close, I lose my way and I freeze. I wish you knew what power you have over me, but now it's so hard to breathe. Just get me out of here. Just get me out of here. Just get me out of. How can you be so calm around me when I act desperately? You used to be the one getting crazy when I'd be hard to reach. I can see it in your eyes. You don't wanna talk anymore. I wanna get so numb while we enemies. No, you don't mind the way I stutter my words. You know exactly what it means and how it hurts. Oh, I can't believe you're here. Can't get any worse. No, no. I just wanna get out of here. I find it so hard to breathe. 'Cause when you get too close, I lose my way and I freeze. I wish you knew what power you have over me, but now it's so hard to breathe. Just get me out of here.
Wow, what a difference that made. Look, I love my True Cut. We use it for a lot of scalping and for a lot of these rough yards around here. But when it comes to a day-to-day cutting, and especially being able to cut right after a rain, the lightness of the Mclean, the 25-inch, the weight per width inch is one way you can measure that. It makes all the difference in the world. It's so smooth. It doesn't press down on the grass. And this yard looks 10 times better than it did using the other one. I mean, just, wow, what a difference. It was so ugly the other day when I cut it with the big heavy one. And now she's just really good looking. Look at that. That's great looking. Love that. So, if you do have a Mclean, you can give that very carefully, experiment with it, but if your reel just barely touches, if you still have a free spinning reel, just go ahead and backlap without a whole bunch of adjustments. And it worked out well for me. Again, it's a 10-minute process to backlap it. And wow, what a difference. Again, I linked to the Mcleans. I strongly recommend 25-inch. I don't care what size yard you have. They just cut better. The bigger the reel mower, the better it cuts, hands down. But I'll link to them. I link to the GR series and the GK series. It depends on which one you get. Again, the majority of the people should get a GR unless you keep your lawn between 1/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inches all year, because you can't cut any higher with the GK. I link to them both on that page below, and tomorrow we'll be out here doing aeration, so hit subscribe and check out that video.